All right, so we are live here with Cynthia Baer. So tell me something. How is the weather over there? And the reason why I'm asking is apparently we have a tsunami alert, so I might be washed up in the water soon. So what's the weather like in Atlanta?
Sunny, and we're in the low 50s right now, which is a little bit chilly for us, but is actually quite lovely, I think, for most people. So it's a
Yeah,
beautiful day.
awesome. Now, everyone always talks about Atlanta being like very humid, right? And so what's it like in the winter in general? Is this typical for you?
Winter, we sometimes get into the 30s, but it's very rare for us to snow. And when it does snow, everything shuts down. So it's automatically snow day for everybody. So we don't go anywhere, we don't do anything. And actually, sometimes it's even if it's going to be cold, school shut down. So
Okay.
we don't do cold very well.
Well,
So,
well,
but
you're
the
you're,
but the
you're
winters,
preaching to the choir here. I live in California,
there
so
you go. There you go. Well, and it's a very temperate climate here for sure. And now summers do get hot. Just please don't ever call us Hot Lana.
got it, got it. Yeah. No, so some people like to call us our area San Fran, and yeah, no one really uses that around here. Or Frisco, you heard that
Yep,
before?
yep, yep.
Well,
Not,
no
not
one
that
uses
either. That's how
it.
to know for sure you're not from around here.
Definitely, definitely. So let me do a quick intro, and then we'll kind of talk about Atlanta a little bit more. So Cynthia is a top producing agent in Atlanta, one of my favorite cities. So I'm so honored that you're able to join us because, well, quite frankly, I love Atlanta. So my wife spent like 10 years in Atlanta, so we often go back because she still has great friends there. So really fantastic town. So I'm glad you're here to talk about it a little bit more. Cynthia is also the number one agent on her board, which is such a huge accomplishment. Then from a national level, she is on the Gary Keller Top 100 Mastermind Group, which again is a huge honor. And to be recognized to be part of that group. So, Cynthia, thank you so much for joining me.
I appreciate you having me.
Cool. So, as I was talking about Atlanta, is that I do go back to Atlanta quite a bit, just because one, I love it, but two, my wife has still good friends there because she did college and graduate school there. So, anyways, what we talked a little bit about the weather in Atlanta. Is there anything else that you just absolutely love about Atlanta?
So I think my very favorite thing about Atlanta is that even though we are a big city and we're very urban, we are also made up of a lot of really small towns. And each of the little communities have their own little personality and flair to them. And basically, you can say, this is kind of the vibe I'm looking for. And I can give you, like, here are the different communities I think you'd love. And we can go find where you want to be a part of and then determine what home would interest you. Because I think that the community in Atlanta is the most important thing to determine first. And then you can find a house that fits your needs.
That is such a awesome way to look at it, and I do want to dive in a little bit deeper into that because when I think of urban areas, like for instance, I live in the suburbs of San Francisco, and so to have any kind of community in a huge metropolitan area like San Francisco is so hard to do, and I know that's part of your business model is to build community and to really get involved in it. Tell me some of the challenges about that.
I think that the beauty of my particular neighborhoods that I usually specialize in the in-town market is that it's really set up for that community feel because we have a lot of big porches and the houses are close together. So it lends itself to the ability to talk to people directly and be able to really get to know your neighbors. I know everybody on my street. We take care of each other. We look out for each other, and it's a really special kind of a feeling to know that you have this kind of extended family at the end of the day. I'd say the challenge is whenever you're in The areas that are the most transient, where you have a lot of people in and out, kind of more of the condos and townhomes, then sometimes it's harder to get that same feel. And I think that a bigger issue is when you're looking into the suburbs and you're looking into like these true kind of suburban communities, that people just go into their driveways and go to their garages and you never see them. It's just a different kind of experience. And I think either one is great. I think it just depends on the type of environment that you're looking for.
I love that. I love that. So one of the questions that I get, and I'm going to go back to the community part, but one of the questions I get a lot is, why do I have these conversations with other agents? And so the reason why I'm doing this is my area has gotten really, really expensive, as you probably know. Our median sales price for single family homes in our area is well over $2 million. And I read recently, unless you were making $600,000 annually for household income, you're not going to be buying. And that's getting to a point where it's very, very expensive for the average person. So that's why I'm having these conversations with agents in other areas, to give people kind of other options, basically. So can you tell maybe some of the viewers, like, some of your favorite neighborhoods? And let's start with a neighborhood that is best for young families.
So one of my very favorite neighborhoods for young families is Candler Park and Lake Claire. They're essentially the same neighborhood, but have slightly different identities, and are right next to each other. But they have a great elementary school. It has a real sense of community. I mean, people walk their kids into the school and get to know each other whenever they're, saying hello and goodbye. You're going to know the people who are going to be your neighbors. You're going to see them every day. You're going to see them at festivals. You're going to see them at the local coffee shop. You're going to walk with them, and they're going to become your people as you go through, the time and space. And meanwhile, you're still very, very walkable to things. You're close to MARTA, which we don't have the best transit system in Atlanta, but if you are right by it, it makes it really simple and easy to be able to navigate whenever you can find that necessary. So it's really easy to hop onto the Beltline, which is kind of our High Line in New York, if people know that. But it's a way to be able to travel within the city, kind of through a sidewalk. But and maybe someday we'll have light rail. But it's kind of our beachfront property, okay. And it's shops and restaurants and active activities that are all around there, and so you're really close to that as well. But it's just a really special kind of a community feel with a lot of other young families in it.
I love it. Now, we can't talk about young families and neighborhoods without talking about the schools, right? And so in this particular neighborhood, and can you repeat the neighborhood again for people watching?
Candler Park and Lake Claire.
Okay. And how are the schools in that neighborhood?
Top notch. So Mary Lynn Elementary, the majority of people are sending their children to public schools in the neighborhood. The school has a ton of parent involvement, really incredible teachers, and top school scores in the city as well. And granted, we all know that the scores don't tell the whole story, but in this situation, you get the full package.
Nice. And so how many elementary schools are in that district?
In the Atlanta Public School District?
No, in this particular neighborhood.
One.
Is it just one? Okay, so the neighborhood's small enough where it has one elementary, probably gets kind of funneled into another middle school and high school down the road, right?
So we work on the cluster system. So there's a grouping of 5 elementary schools that go to the same middle school, and then they all move to the same high school. And all of those are also high performing, very, very desirable. My 4th child is about to graduate from the high school this year. So big believer. And it's also has one of the most beautiful views because it's right on Piedmont Park with a skyline view of the city. So it's a special place.
I love it. So let's kind of change types of neighborhood.
Mhm.
And can you tell us what is your favorite neighborhoods for like young professionals or dinks, I think the kids call them, which are double income, no kids demographic? Like, what would you recommend for them?
So you're going to want to be on the Beltline. It gives you the ability to walk out your door and end up basically anywhere of the restaurants and shops that you want to be in the city by walking or biking or taking a scooter to it. So some of those neighborhoods are going to be Inman Park, which has top-notch dining, so many incredible options, and a really, really strong community feel. Um, Grant Park is a fantastic neighborhood for that as well. And then there's lots of new emerging neighborhoods that are getting a lot more attention since it's been connected to the Beltline, because the Beltline's still newer. So neighborhoods like Chosewood Park have really come up, and a lot of neighborhoods on the west side as well. So there's so many opportunities. And the beautiful thing is that it's so much more affordable to be able to, actually have a house with a yard, with access to all the things that you want to find. And it's, even more affordable if you want to go for a condo or a townhome or something of those sorts as well.
And just for perspective, because I mentioned how expensive it was here in the Bay Area, in those two neighborhoods, what would a single family home buy you in those neighborhoods?
So in a neighborhood like Candler Park, for example, if you're looking at a 3-2, you can find something as low as 650. Probably, something that's more updated, maybe closer to 800. Um, and then if you wanted brand new construction, 5 bedrooms, double car garage, all the things that you would be looking for in that neighborhood, you're probably looking at 1.8 to 2 million.
Oh, okay. All right. So not far off from our prices almost.
But that's going to be your Mac Daddy gorgeous big family home.
And what do you get on those? Like,
You're getting probably 3,500 square feet. You're getting, a yard. You're still getting walkability and location, and you're getting new construction. There's not a lot of new construction in my area. So these are infill houses where they've taken a house and torn it down and built something new in its place. But that's what you can find.
gotcha. Gotcha. Now, for the people that generally follow me, my clients, they are probably like young professionals and that still work. So they're not retiring, downsizing, or anything like that. So one of the concerns that they have when they're choosing a relocation area is the job market. So how would you describe the Atlanta job market? Is it strong? Is it weak? Like, how's it going?
It's incredibly strong. We have, so many top Fortune 500 companies like Delta, Coca-Cola, UPS. We have a lot in the tech industry. And because we are the home of so many incredible colleges and universities, we get a lot of other opportunities where people are coming to where the talent is. So we are the home to Georgia Tech, to Emory, to HBCUs like Morehouse and Spelman and Clark Atlanta. We have the CDC. It's basically all of the things that would attract people to really be a part of this.
By the way, my wife went to Emory. So,
Oh, well, see,
so
that's right down the street from where I live.
no, oh man. So I'm sorry. What neighborhood is that? I'm drawing a blank
Druid
right.
Hills. That you're
Yes.
talking Druid Hills, and I live in Lake Claire.
Oh, beautiful area. I didn't know that. Oh, I love that area. We kind of jest and say if we were to move, we would definitely go in there.
But
So
the most amazing thing is that, especially during COVID, what I saw was so many people coming, especially from California, but other urban markets as well, that were basically like, okay, if I can work anywhere, I want to go someplace that I still have an urban environment. I have incredible opportunities for work. And if I'm going to work out of the area, I'm going to be right at the airport, which Atlanta is the busiest airport in the world. So basically, if you want to go anywhere, it's pretty easy to do. and, temperate client, and actually be able to afford a house.
Yeah,
And
sounds like
so
it.
we saw incredible growth during that period of time. And in addition to all of those other things, we also have a booming film industry. So
Wow.
again, more
Tell me
California.
more. Tell me more.
We are actually outside of LA. We have the most production. So if you see, start looking at the movies that you're watching. At the end, if you see The Peach, it was filmed in Atlanta, but like all the Marvel movies are here. You'll see that all of a sudden Atlanta is the subject of a lot of movies.
Now I'm
It's
going to pay attention because I don't think I've ever noticed. I just assumed that's LA or wherever. Oh,
sometimes they make it seem like it's other places. My street gets a lot of filming itself, and it's been, Massachusetts and Detroit and Maine and all kinds of places. And I told my husband, I'm like, my daughter's going to think the whole world looks like our street. But no, it's a incredible industry. We have given a lot of tax credits, and it's brought a ton of opportunity here.
so smart. So smart. Now, something I didn't realize about you is you have 4 kids. Is that right? Do you have more?
I have 4 kids. Mm-hmm.
Total. Okay. Well, by the way, I didn't know that. You're amazing. You're amazing because, well, one, you look fantastic, but two, how do you manage to raise 4 kids and still run a successful real estate business? I don't get it.
That's a longer story, but I will say that 3 are now out of the house, and 1 is a senior in high school. So we're getting close to the point where this all becomes a little easier. So
Still amazing. I have 3 young kids, and I feel like I'm drowning every single day. So
you are drowning every single day.
yes, it's definitely a challenge, but luckily my wife's fantastic, so she takes a lot of that burden.
Well, she was obviously well educated.
Exactly that Atlanta education.
That's right.
So let's talk about the personal a little bit.
Sure.
So if someone was to come and visit you, and this is just a random question, totally subjective. If someone was to come and visit you and they said, let's have a really nice dinner, where would you and your husband take them?
So one of my favorite places to take people from out of town would be the Kimball House in Decatur. Decatur is its own little world also within the perimeter. It's actually where my office is located, but it's only 4 square miles for the city of Decatur. And there's this magical place that was built out of a renovated rail depot, and it's called Kimball House. They have amazing food. They have incredible oysters. The fact that we are not anywhere close to the ocean, we don't talk about, but they've got an amazing menu for that. And then they have incredible cocktails. So it's a special little place that I think makes people fall in love with the area.
Well, I'm definitely going to come and visit that restaurant next time I'm in town.
Well, let me take you.
Oh, I would love it. So I'm going to have to plan it as soon as I can get some childcare. Right now, that's kind of hard. So, but you know what, Cynthia, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. That is it for today. I'm sure we'll talk again really soon. I think family reunion's coming up in a couple months here.
Yes, I'll see you in a few months.
Definitely. All right, Cynthia. Well, take care of yourself. Happy holidays, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.